All right, Salakia, brothers and sisters. The last one had to end quick because I was in the middle of something, but now I got nothing but free time. Real quick, I was trying to get it done quick, but let's get this done. First and foremost, I'm going to give call halal Yahweh Bahashem Hamashak Yahweh Shai. That's all honor, praises, and glory to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Christ. We are the Hebrew Israelites of the sect of 12 Gates Israelite School, right? We're out here in California. We have a chapter in San Bernardino as well as San Diego. I'm Lieutenant Zahar Yaquab. We're going to go ahead and get onto this, right? We're going to talk about the law, right? And we're going to show how you get good success with the law. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to start at Psalms. We're going to start at Psalms 19 and 7, right? That's where I want to start. So the book of Psalms, chapter 19, 7, 12, chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul, right? So we know perfection is the law, right? If you keep the law, you can be perfect. Perfect meaning complete, right? Converting the soul, the testimonies of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So if you can keep these law, statutes, commandments, come to an understanding of these law, statutes, commandments, even the most simple man, you can become wise and have wisdom, right? Because it'll show you how to carry yourself with wisdom. All right, so let's get Psalms 119 and 142. This is a direct precept, right? Okay, Slovakia, 119 and 142. Where you at? 142. Right? Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Right? So we understand that the law is the truth. That's how you come into the truth. You come into the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, your culture, your heritage, your understanding, your history, right? From there, we're going to go ahead and jump to, let's get Psalms 1, right? Psalms 1, beautiful. Love Psalms 1 because this is how we get good success. This is how we start to get good success, by meditating, right? Psalms 1 is quoting something, actually, from Joshua. So that's one of the most beautiful things about Psalms 1 is it actually quotes a previous precept. Right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, right? So blessed is the man that doesn't walk in the ways of the sinners, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, right? But what does the man that is blessed do, right? Verse 2. But his delight is in the law. So his delight is in the law, right? The Lord and the law of the Lord, and in the law doeth he meditate day and night. So he meditates there day and night in this law, right? That's going to be a direct precept with what? Let's go to Joshua 1 and 8. All right, Joshua. Look at Joshua chapter 1 and verse. So give me a second. Overshot it. 1 verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do to do according to all that is written therein. For thou shalt make thy way, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Right. So if you want to have good success and you want to be successful in any kind of a matter of life, you have to be able to come back to these law, statutes, commandments, follow these law, statutes, commandments, and serve the Lord the way that the Lord is going to serve you, right? Because why would anybody want to give you anything, or why would your father want to bless you if you're not doing what is asked of you, right? So this is what we need to do. We need to come back and do what our father has asked. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump to Isaiah 14. This is one of the most beautiful precepts. I love Isaiah 14. Because it's talking about, this is like almost end time prophecy, right? It's talking about what's going to happen to the children of Israel in the time of peace. You know, it's funny because I feel like little glimpse of the gospel is just all over Isaiah. Isaiah 51, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 61. Like, I just feel like it's just so potent in the book of Isaiah. Um, so, Isaiah 14, 1 through 3. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verses 1 through 3. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. So the mercy is going to be for the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child, right? And that's who he has chosen as his people. And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. So strangers are going to be joined unto them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. They're going to cleave unto the house, right? They're going to hold on to them with dear life. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. So the people whose captives we were are going to take us and bring us to this place, right? So they're saying here, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants. And they're going to give themselves to us in the land, right? And the handmaids, and they shall take them captives, and we're going to take captives whose captives they were, whose captives we were, right? And they shall rule over their oppressor. So we're gonna have our turn to rule over them as they had ruled over us, right? And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord shall give thee rest. So we're gonna get that rest, right? That final rest, that relaxation from thy sorrow and from thy fear, from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. So no longer are we gonna have to be made to serve these hard bondages, right? Now we're gonna be able to have our own lands, our own cisterns, our own water fountains to drink from, right? We're gonna be like, all right, blacks and Hispanics only, and natives only, no whites. Right? He said, what did he say? This is nigga pie only. Off that movie Life, that was great. All right, let's hit Micah 4, 1 through 3, real quick. We're trying to make this quick and simple. These are always quick cuts. Dun, 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 dun. Micah 4, 3, so I can Micah 4 and what? Micah 4, 1 through 3. So this is the book of Micah, chapter 4, 1 through 3. And we already know Micah, the 4th chapter is end time prophecy, correct? 3, 4, 1 through 3. All right. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established on the top of the mountain. So this is talking about Israel. Israel is synonymous. Countries are synonymous with mountains in the Bible, or we should say nations. All right, Salakia. So he's basically saying that Israel will be established upon other nations, right? And it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. So it's going to be exalted above the hills. We're going to be the main nation. No longer are they going to be superpowers such as Britain, America, Japan, Russia, China. It's going to be Israel. Israel is going to be the superpower. All right. And Slakia, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go unto the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth from Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So this is what we're going to be established to do, if we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is our good success, right? Verse 3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So this is what we're to do. This is what the goal is. This is the end goal, right? The end game. This is what we want. At the end of the day, we want the Israelites, the true children of Israel of God, to be put upon all nations, so that way we'll have peace, right? Because it says, once we're there, there will be no more war, right? What does the scripture say? When the righteous are in rule, the earth rejoices, but when the wicked are in rule, the earth mourn. That's why we have war, because the earth mourneth, the wicked are in rule, right? But we're going to get to the point where that's no longer an issue. It's no longer a factor. Why? Because Israel's in rule. So let's go ahead and grab Isaiah, the 9th chapter. We're almost done. 2 more precepts. Isaiah 9. Almost done, guys. Get up out of your hair real quick. Damn, Isaiah 9. And we're going to go 8 through 10. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 8. And the Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lighted. Wait. That's 9. Okay, yeah, Con. And lighted upon Israel, and all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, that say in the pride and stoutness of the heart, the bricks are fallen down, but we will build with hewn stone. So we're going to build with hewn stone, right? That's what we're out here to do. We are those hewn stones. Israel, Jacob, the Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, man, woman, and child. That's why we're building up this wall, right? We got to be those watchmen, those watchers, building up the wall, right? Uh, hewn stone, the sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars, right? So this is the resilientness of Jake. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to come out here and build our people up and turn them from these broken down trees into oaks, right? Into cedars, you know, from sycamores to cedars, from slave ships to spaceships, like the brother likes to say. Shout out to the brother Deacon Hakar. That's right. Um, let's go ahead and grab 2 Timothy 2 and 15, and we'll finish out at Hebrews. And then we'll be done. Quick little 15-minute cut session, like always. Keep it clean, keep it simple. Whoa, I'm going too far. To the Hebrews, 2 Timothy's 2 and 15, one of my favorite precepts, right? So this is what we need to do to have this good success as well, to be able to get to those end time goals, right? This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. So this is why we study to show ourselves approved, so we could be a workman, right, in the sight of God. And we have to, and the reason why we studied is so that way we're not ashamed. We're able to defend the gospel and to bring it out. And I mean, boldly, as the scriptures say, cry aloud, spare not. Shew thy transgressions, right? Lift thy voice up like a trumpet and shew my people their transgressions. Salakia. But so that's what we're out here to do. That needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? So we don't need no have to be ashamed, because we're rightly dividing this word of truth, and we're showing you precept by precept, line upon line, scripture upon scripture, that the Black, Hispanic, Native American children are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. Nobody breaks down the scriptures the way we break it down. Nobody will show you the things that we'll show you, right? Let's go ahead and let's finish it out with Hebrews, though. This is a beautiful scripture. Hebrews chapter 5 and verses 12 through 15. The Hebrews. So it's the book of Hebrews chapter 5. I'm going to start at 12 through 14. And this is something that we're out here to do every week, and this is why we come out here, and this is how we're going to have our good success, by coming out here and teaching brothers. I mean, we teach a lot of brothers, from the youth to the elders, and even a lot of elders and us even at our age. You know what I mean? When we came in, like I was 25 when I came into this truth, bro. I'm fucking almost 30 now, so it's been like, yeah, like 4 years, 5 years. I was like, man, I forgot how old it was. It was like 2015 when I came in. Um, So yeah, verse 12. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again. So at the time I was 25, I should be teaching people, right? I'd be old enough to have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but I didn't. So I had to come to this, to a camp, to a school, you know what I mean? And I had to learn the scriptures and how to break them down and how to righteously divide the word of truth, right? That you have a need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, right? The first principles of the oracles of God. What is a principle? A principle is like a way you live your life. What is an oracle? Oral, talking about something that's passed down traditionally, an oral tradition, right? So this is what we were talking about, the first principles of the oracles of God. So the law, statutes, and commandments is what we're discussing. You know what I mean? This is what we're rightly dividing and trying to teach people to do, right? And are become such of have need of milk. And because we haven't been able to break down these cultural things that we've had our whole life, we have to come back again and learn these things before we can break them down, and not of strong meat, right? So that's why we try to keep brothers away from prophecy and deeper things until they start to learn how to follow these law, statutes, commandments, and walk as a Hebrew. First, you want to learn your culture before you want to start diving into prophecy. You know what I mean? Start really bugging your mind out and shit. Right? Excuse my language. Verse 13, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. So we start out as babes in this truth. We come back. When we start out, we're basically at zero. You know what I mean? You've repented. You've emptied the bottle and restarted. A new person. Right? But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And this is what we do week in and week out when we go out and teach the Bible, is we discern how to use this word for both good and evil. You know what I mean? We can discern when people are using it for evil and how we use it for good. How do we use it for good? By coming out here and teaching these law, statutes, commandments, and teaching our people to wake up, right? But with that, like I said, Shalom, Israel, Tawada, Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bertha, and bless you, brothers.